This is a normal day at work for Sead Vrana. He and his team of explosive ordnance technicians are the only people in Bosnia and Herzegovina qualified to destroy explosive devices. But even 23 years after the war ended, much of its most dangerous legacy remains underground. According to the Bosnian Mine Action Center, landmines still contaminate 1,050 square kilometers of land. Their estimates place the number of unearthed mines at 80,000.
Međutim, to je samo ono, kažem, procjena. Dakle, to nije nikakva informacija, to je otprilike ono, kako se to kaže, educated guess.
And the more time passes, the harder it is to find them.
Ono što je bilo livada, sada je šikara. Dakle, sad tu vi već imate šikaru sa nekih 10 do 15 cm debelim drvećem. A ona se čisti tako što se režu komadi od po 30 cm. Dakle, onoliko koliko možete ukloniti, a da ne poremetite vegetaciju okolo. Smo imali slučajeva da je čovjek, deminer, koji je povukao granu, aktivirao minu koja je eksplodirala ispred njega i ubila ga.
It's not just the deminers that get hurt. Ever since the war ended, 2,032 people have been injured because of landmines. 613 of them were fatalities. The estimate today is that mines directly endanger 15% of the entire population.
Ljudi iz godine u godinu su sve manje svjesni da je problem mina u Bosni i Hercegovini još uvijek jako izražen i da još uvijek preti jako velika opasnost.
Nijaz Memić is a certified instructor who educates on the dangers of landmines. When he's not working as a sound engineer at the national radio station, he teaches children how to spot potentially dangerous areas. He was a soldier during the war when a mine took his left leg.
To se desilo, ono što je za mene posebno porazna činjenica da je to relativno blizu Sarajeva, da se to nalazi na 5-6 km od Baščaršije, od centra bukvalno grada i da ta minska polja egzistiraju i dan danas.
Nijaz tells me that's not the only area around the capital city of Sarajevo which is still dangerous, and he agrees to show me. We take a ride to Mount Trebević with Sarajevo's new cable car. The original was closed when the war broke out in 1992. It was reopened this April, much to the delight of locals and tourists. During the war, Nijaz spent most of his time fighting in the hills surrounding Sarajevo.
Ja sam recimo ranjen u ovoj šumi ovdje.
We follow the paved road walked by everyone who visits the mountain. Soon we get off it and into the woods. Nijaz is certain we will come upon minefields. And shortly enough, the contrasting red of a warning sign appears. We find several other signs, all from 50 to 100 meters away from the paved road, all randomly placed, and all barely visible. On the floor lie torn up pieces of police tape that used to secure these areas from the public.
Sad vi recimo imate ovdje znak, a nemate ovdje. I sad ako niste vidjeli ovaj znak, vi sad idete dole, dalje i vi ste u minskom polju da niste svjesni toga.
Later that day, news broke that a body was found in a minefield, some 50 miles from Sarajevo. The next day, Nijaz introduces me to his friend, Jovica. Jovica worked as a deminer after the war. 18 years ago, he accidentally stepped on one while working. To this day, Jovica hasn't received any compensation.
Gazda je ili uzeo pare sebi ili me nije bio osigurao. Onda je 5-6 godina bilo teško. Ne mogu da radim, da zaradim za porodicu. Nisam dobio pare koje sam trebao dobiti, moje pare. Bilo je jako teško, ali na kraju opet sam stao na nogu. Ne mogu reći na noge, nego na nogu.
Nijaz and Jovica were both soldiers during the war, fighting on opposite sides. Today, they are friends who share the perils of living with a disability. But because Jovica was injured as a deminer, he isn't entitled to any social support. And that's just one example of how the government sees victims differently.
Ratni vojni invalid prve kategorije ima 1200 i nešto maraka, a civilna žrtva rata prve kategorije ima 500 maraka. Znači, u finansijskom smislu je ogromna razlika. A civilni invalidi u toj kategoriji, ja mislim da imaju, sad ću slagat, negdje oko 180 maraka.
Figures that don't even cover victims' physical needs, let alone psychological ones. But in a large city such as Sarajevo, the mines can still seem far away. So I decided to go to Devetak, a village with one of the highest percentages of post-war landmine victims, some 80 miles from Sarajevo. The only time Šefik Mujkić left his home in Devetak was during the war, when he was forced to do so by the Serb army. And while the army has left, their mines remain.
Tamo ima još gdje nije čišćeno. Znači ovaj dio odavde pa dole do Ermina to nije niko čistio.
Šefik tells me he forbids his grandchildren to go into the woods behind the house. But he says his neighbors frequently go in to get supplies in order to provide for their families. And what he's describing is symptomatic of a wider issue.
Deminira se I očisti se ono područje u koje se ljudi vrate I žive, ali su im svi resursi od kojih žive blokirani minama. Zato ljudi ginu. Zato ljudi ginu.
Areas such as these woods are classified as Category 3, or low priority for demining. But the authorities are saying that the new 2025 strategy will change this and treat the entire country with the same level of urgency. But why has this taken over 2 decades to change?
Bez obzira što je sve prioritet, da kažemo, kad je riječ o minama, mine treba ukloniti I uništiti, nemate dovoljno sredstava.
And it's not only funds. The authorities don't have sufficient information either.
Pošto nismo tehničkim metodama ušli u tu procjenu, se dešavalo da nađemo vrlo malo mina, nekada ni jednu, tako da smo trošili znači I vrijeme I resurse.
They say the new strategy will include a new method called land release, and they're certain this analytical approach is the key to getting the job done. But while the officials may be convinced they will be able to stick to the new deadline, all of our other interviewees expressed serious doubt. The only thing that remains certain at this point is that the people whose lives are most affected will have to wait even longer for something already much overdue.